Just coming back to a normal breath in and out. And we're going to shift over into child's pose. But just listen before doing so, because right after child's pose, we're going to come into a gentle version of rabbit. And we won't really be looking around during that. I don't want you to look up, so we'll just show it really quickly first, because I haven't taught it in a long time. It's a gentle stretch for the upper back and back of the neck. It's easy to overdo this, so go really carefully. In just a moment, you'll come onto your knees and set the hands up as if you would for a headstand. If you've never done that before, that's excellent. You should never do headstand. But you'll cup your hands, elbows fairly close in, and then just bringing the crown of the head into the cup of the hands, using the weight of the hips carefully to start to roll the body forward, stretching out the back of the neck across the upper back and shoulders. Be really gentle. It doesn't take a lot. And once you're in it, try to resist turning your head to the side. Just really breathe deeply into the upper back. But first, just coming into child's pose. Just sitting back on your heels, reaching the arms forward, extending out. Just feeling your breath, maybe moving a little bit more into the back body. One more deep breath in and out in your child's pose. And then starting to set up for rabbit. So come up on the knees a little bit. Hips stay behind the knees so you can really control the weight. Interlace your hands, but keep the heels of the hands a little bit separated. Elbows in under the shoulders. And then bringing the crown of the head to the floor inside the cup of the hands. And then maybe you need to bring your knees in. That's up to you. But starting to shift the hips forward to gently open up the upper back and neck. And you choose how far forward you come. And breathe really deeply into the upper back. Feel your breath spreading the shoulder blades apart. You can even very gently ease slightly back and forth, but not pressing yourself more forward than you are now. Just kind of easing in and out of the pose a little bit, or just stay and breathe. This pose gets a lot of the benefits of shoulder stand without any of the risk. Nice stretch for upper back. Just a couple more breaths. And then gently sitting back to release. And just come up onto your hands and knees. Again, gently shift your head a little side to side, just kind of loosen up the neck. And then once you're ready, finding a few rounds of cat-cow. I'll get more specific with some core engagement in a moment. But for now, just arching and flexing the back, getting some nice undulations along the spine, maybe side to side as well. And then coming to a neutral spine. Knees right under the hips, toes pointed so you're in the tops of the feet. We'll start kind of a lower level of this. Inhale, look forward, regular cow. And as you exhale, round the spine into cat, but lift the knees off the floor a couple inches. You balance on the tops of the feet. Inhale the knees down, looking forward slightly. And then exhale, round the spine, engage core, float the knees up. You can squeeze your hands and feet towards each other into the mat. Knees down as you inhale, look forward, arch the back. Exhale, round the spine, pull in as you lift the knees up. Again, knees down, look forward. Exhale, round the knees, around the back, float the knees up. You can stay like this, inhale, knees down, look forward. Or if you'd like to add a little bit, as you exhale, round the spine, hover both knees, but then pull your right knee all the way to the chest, keep your left knee where it is. Inhale, both knees down, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, float your knees, maybe pull the left knee into the chest. Don't lift the right one too much. Inhale, knees down. Exhale, round the spine, hover the knees, pull the right thigh in. Set it down, inhale. Exhale, round, lift both knees, lift the left knee higher into the chest, round the back. Inhale it down, once more each side. Exhale, round, float both knees an inch, then draw that right knee in. Both knees down, look forward. Last one, exhale, round the spine, lift the knees, pull that left knee in. Set the knees down, inhale, look forward, set your hands wider and further out. And then tuck your toes and press back to downward dog. Taking a couple breaths, pedal it out. From your downward dog, lift your heels, tuck your tailbone round forward through the spine, just like cat pose, but the knees are all the way in the air, coming into a high plank, shoulders over wrists. Keep pushing the ground away, stay lifted through the hips, belly engaged. And then just press right back into downward dog, open up, soften the heels down. Again, lift up, bring yourself forward, shoulders over wrists. This time, carefully start to lower the hips. They don't have to come all the way down if that doesn't work for you, but looking forward on the toes, modified up dog. And then lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Again, lift the heels, bring yourself forward, high plank. This time, keep coming forward, lower halfway towards the floor. Now over the toes, full upward facing. And exhale back, downward facing dog. From this downward dog, just start to walk your feet forward until you come to your forward fold at the front of the mat. You can grab elbows and hang in a ragdoll. You can grab the big toes, take a deeper uttanasana, whatever version feels good to you at the moment. You can even take padahastasana if that was a lot for the wrists, sliding your hands under your feet, palms up. Give yourself a little wrist release. Just relax your head and neck. Take a couple breaths. And slowly start to round your way up to standing. Reach the arms up overhead. And then hands to heart, feet together at the front of your mat. Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Lengthen to your flat back. And either step or lightly float back to Chaturanga. From Chaturanga to upward facing dog. Lift the heart, draw the shoulders back. Exhale back, downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, bring the elbows halfway down for turbo dog. Squeeze them in towards each other as narrow as the wrist. Keep the hips reaching back and up. And then just re-straighten the arms. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, dip it back down. Squeeze the elbows in. Again, lift up, inhale. Once more, exhale, dip it down, squeeze in. Inhale, straighten. Stay in downward dog as you exhale. Next breath, soften the knees and hopper step to the front. Flat back and forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing and hands to heart. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Lengthen and step or float your way back from chaturanga to upward facing dog and all the way back to downward facing dog. And then in this downward facing dog, you're going to do something a little unusual. Turning the heels in, toes out. Start to bend your knees a little out to the side as the heels lift. Press your hips back like you're going to squat back into a weird version of child's pose. And then as you bring yourself forward to plank, parallel feet again, and just bring yourself forward and hold. Press back, heels in, toes out, bend the knees, squatting back towards the heels. And then pull yourself forward to a lifted plank, parallel feet. Again, heels in, toes out, press back. And then pull yourself forward. Press back, just regular downward facing dog. And give yourself a breath there. And with your next breath, soften your knees and lightly hopper step forward. Lengthen out and fold down. Inhale all the way up, and hands to heart. And once more through, reach it up. Exhale, dive down. Lengthen to your flat back, and then step right back into your vinyasa. Beautiful. In this downward dog, lift your right leg up into the air. Stay back in downward dog. Just fold your right thigh into the chest, rounding the knee in. Then pull yourself forward, shoulders over wrists, tuck the leg up higher. Inhale, extend it back, three-legged dog. Again, first fold the right leg in, tucking thigh to belly. Then round your way forward, knee to nose, keep that leg tucked up. Inhale, reach it back. Once more, fold the leg in. Pull yourself forward, lifting up the whole way. Place the foot inside the thumb. Set the back knee down for a moment. Bring your hands to the inside of the foot. Retuck your back toes, lift that knee again. And then reach your right arm up into the air, a wide, twisting, open lunge pose. And then bring your right elbow down to the inside of your right ankle. It doesn't have to touch, but it might. Inhale, reach it back open. And then right elbow down to inner ankle. And inhale, twist open. Exhale, round down. And lift up, inhale. And exhale, round it in. Again, reach it up. Once more, bring it down. Inhale up, set the back knee down. Walk your right foot out to the right. And either just bring your hand to the inner thigh as you twist open to the right, or reach back and grab the foot in your right hand and take the extra quad stretch, drawing the heel in. Lift out of your left shoulder, turn through the chest a bit. If you want more stretch and you're more open, you can start to bring your right foot and knee a little bit in again, so it's not quite as twisting open to the side. But sometimes that's a little tight for the hips, so you can keep that right leg open. Just another deep breath. And then release Ardha Hanuman. Walk your right foot in. You can grab blocks if you need to. Straighten that front leg as you bring your hips over the back knee. Lengthen out along the spine. And maybe fold down. Your hands can be on the floor or on your blocks. Just bow your head. Gently folding down over that right leg. Or just lengthening out over it. Really deep breath down your back. walks out of the way, carefully steps back, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale back, downward dog. And we'll do all that on the second side. So lift that left leg up. Fold the knee, the thigh into the belly, knee into the chest. Then round your way forward, knee to nose, stay tucked and lifted. Inhale, extend it back, three-legged dog. Again, fold the leg in. Rise up as you come forward, tuck it in. Inhale, reach it back. Once more, fold it in. Pull yourself up as you come forward, place the foot. Set the back knee down, hands to the inside of the foot. Then lift that back knee again. Reach your left arm open, but keep the left knee in towards center, so it's just the chest twisting. And then left elbow down to inner ankle. Again, open up. Exhale, round it down. And lift. And lower in. And lift up. And lower down. Once more through, reach it up, deep breath in. Exhale, bring that elbow down. Inhale, lift up, set the back knee down, walk your left foot out to the side. And again, either left hand on the thigh as you traction back, or reach back, grab the foot, and draw it in. Turning through the chest, opening up through the shoulders, and breathing. One more deep breath. And release, and set up for that half split or runner stretch. Walk that front foot in, straighten the leg, grab blocks or hands to the floor. Find that length, gently pulling both hips back into place, and maybe start to fold down. Think of hinging and really drawing belly to thigh, chest to knee, head to shin. None of those have to touch, just in that direction, rather than just rounding your head down to the leg. And then release, watch your blocks as you take your vinyasa back to downward dog. Just a couple breaths in your downward dog. Lengthen out, reach the hips back. And from this downward dog, just set your knees down back into that tabletop and lower down onto your elbows. Bring your fingertips towards the front edge of the mat. Forearms nice and parallel, hands out, elbows in under your shoulders. Then step the feet way back into your forearm plank. Shoulders either just above the elbows or maybe slightly behind them, giving your core a little extra challenge. And from here, bring your right hand just an inch or two more to center for balance, heels to the right, and reach your left arm up into your forearm side plank. Pull that elbow in, so keep that right shoulder, or that left shoulder really engaged underneath you. And lift your bottom hip up without twisting. So keep that top hip moving forward a little bit. One more breath. And then bring it back to center. Left elbow comes down. Left hand just an inch more towards the middle. Heels to the left. Right arm up. Side plank on the other side. And you can keep your feet separated if that helps you level out the hips, or you can stack them. But plug in, squeeze the elbow into the mat, lift that bottom hip up. Steady breath, deep inhale. And then exhale, bring that right arm down, set the knees down, press back just for a breath or two into your child's pose. Give the neck and shoulders a little break. Let's do one more variation of that. come back up through your tabletop. And once more, set yourself up on your elbows. Forearms parallel, same position to start. Feet working way back. But then once your feet are back in your forearm plank, bring your feet together. Without twisting the hips, keep them facing the ground. Lift your left foot up an inch, bring it out to the side, tap the floor, and then pull it back to the middle. Right foot lifts, out to the side, tap the floor. Back in, keep your hips facing down, left foot out to the side, tap, bring it back in. Right foot out to the side, tap, and bring it back in. Again, left foot out, tap twice, bring it back in, keep your hips up. Right foot out to the side, tap twice, and back in. Once more, left foot out, tap twice, bring it back in. And then right foot out, let's hope I don't unplug all this. Tap, tap, bring it back in. Knees down, and press back into your child's pose. I just realized that my toes were hitting those electrical cords. Okay. We still have power. Just a couple breaths. You can even roll your head a little bit side to side in your child's pose. Just release the neck. And then with your next breath, carefully bring yourself back up through downward dog. Just a hopper step forward. Lengthen out and fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And hands to heart. We're going to start standing in this next sequence, but still be at the front of your mat. Bring your forearms together in front of you. Standing on your right leg, bring your left knee carefully up. Touch the elbows and knee together. And then reach your arms up, carefully step your left foot all the way back, right into a high lunge. Ease back, and then dip the back knee, round over your front thigh. Inhale, lift up to lunge, bring the forearms together, lean forward, pull that left knee up, tap the elbows with the knee. Reach it all the way back into your lunge, and then dip it down almost to the mat. Again, lift up. Palms and elbows together, lean forward, pull that left knee up, tap, step it back, and round as you dip. Again, reach up, forearms together, bring that left knee up, tap, and send it back, dip down. As you come up, find a focal point for your balance, but step your right foot back to the left and come down into a low squat like a downhill skier. Shift your weight into your heels, spread your toes, lengthen out the spine. Shifting your hips really far down and back, engage your thighs. Then reach the arms up, lift the heels up, tiptoe chair and balance. Pedengusta Utkatasana. Hold the heels up into the calves, tuck tail, belly in. Then lower the heels, squat nice and low, lengthen out. Again, lift the arms, lift your heels, balance up on the toes. And then drop it down, squat back. Again, lift up, lift the heels. This time stay up, just lower the heels. Step your right foot forward again into that same high lunge. Dip the knee just once, round over the thigh. Lift up, hands to heart, and step to the front of the mat. Take a breath, shake it out. And second side. Forearms together. Standing on your left foot, draw your right knee up, tap the elbows in front of you. Then ease back, really reach back through that right foot, land lightly, dip the knee, round over the thigh. Inhale up, it's easing through the motion, not the end pose that we're thinking about. Draw the knee up, tap. And then slowly reach back, shift your weight, and dip down. Again, lift up, draw the elbows together, draw that back knee up, tap. Reach back, shifting your weight as soon as the toes land, and then dip down. Again, lift up, forearms together, pull that right knee up and tap. Reach it back, all the way back, dip down. Lift up, look forward, but step to the back of the mat and squat nice and low. balance back, really shift low, then reach the arms up, lift the heels up, pull in. Drop it down, squat back. Lift it up, pull the heels up, belly in. And drop it down, squat. And lift up, lift your heels. Stay up, set the heels down. Carefully reach that left foot to the front again. High lunge, dip it down once. Lift up, hands to heart, and step forward. Take a breath, shake it out. And back to vinyasa. Sit down into your chair pose, inhale, and exhale, dive it down. Lengthen out, and step or hop back through vinyasa. Just finding your way all the way back to downward dog. In this downward dog, simply step your right foot to the front for warrior one. Anchor that back heel to send the hips forward, reach up. For eagle arms, cross left elbow over the right one. Twine, lift up. Unlock the shoulder blades, scooping the elbows forward and up. Stay shifting your center of gravity towards your front heel. And then just release your hands to your heart. Look forward for a balance point. This time, warrior three. As you float up, keep that back leg in the air. And face the ground. Belly, chest, and back thigh. Reaching that left foot all the way back as you step the toes down and come up to straighten both legs, setting up for pyramid. So if you need to adjust, you can step a little narrower through your stance. Square off. Oops. Did I just turn it? Turn it off for a second. And then fold over that right leg as you come down. Again, hands to floor or blocks on either side of the foot. Now, I almost always like blocks because I can push back and you have more choices with the blocks. If your palms are flat on the floor, you obviously don't need the blocks. But I like to be able to shift my center of gravity a little forward, a little backwards, depending on where I need to put the stretch, rather than just relying on coming down. Huge breath up and down your back. Still trying for that rolling length through the spine. So rather than head to knee, can you think about crown of the head towards the top of that front foot? Not going to happen, but imagine someday you could tickle the crown of your head with those front toes without bending the knee. You need to really roll forward from the pelvis to get that extension. Nice, one more really full breath. Then while we're here, twisting triangles, soften your knees, bring your left hand closer in, maybe higher on a block, right hand to right hip or up to the sky. Just turning the chest to the right in your twisting triangle. Feel free to readjust the width of the legs if you need to. You can bend the back knee if you need to get more into that right leg. However, if you're bending the back knee, I do recommend putting more support onto your left hand because it's a little unstable with a bent back knee, especially if the heel comes up. And then both hands down, lean forward, lift that back leg into the air, standing split. Your hands can be on blocks, they can be on the floor. You can bend your knee if you need to, but walk your hands closer to the standing foot if you can. So it's really a one-legged forward fold, less of a balance towards a warrior three. So if you feel like your chest is really lifted, bend the knee and try to reach the hands back a little bit. It doesn't have to look anything like a split. The lifted leg can reach straight back or even a little towards the floor behind you if it doesn't go to the ceiling. But if the leg is up past 90 degrees, you can play with shifting your weight a little forward and backwards. Those of you that are practicing floating, you can bend the knee enough to plant your palms, maybe shift your weight even more forward and backwards, walk your hands out a few inches, lift up onto those tiptoes, and then back onto the heel, back and forth. Some of you are hopping up. That's great. Looks really careful. From wherever you are, a few little steps, maybe a big step, or a float back to chaturanga. Just vinyasa. Yeah. And back to downward dog. And then second side. Left foot just comes forward to warrior one. And then this right elbow over the left one. Twine the arms. Scoop the elbows forward and up. If you need to, you can just grab opposite shoulders or even bring the forearms together again like we did with that balancing earlier. And then release hands to heart, look forward for balance, warrior three. Coming up into that Digasana balance. Halfway down with the chest, halfway up with the leg. Turn that hip a little bit down, spiraling through the lifted leg. Gently draw the belly in, almost extending the back, but not quite a back bend. This all look really good. Soft bend to the knees is fine. Lightly, carefully bring those right toes down behind you for pyramid. Just shift your weight. Again, if you need to step the back foot in to really ground the heel, you can readjust your legs. And then as you're ready, starting to hinge over that hip, keeping your left hip gently drawing back. And hands to the floor or maybe to your blocks, so you can really, again, control that shifting forward and backwards of your weight. If your back is tighter, sometimes it helps to actually bend the knee and round a little bit more forward. But if it's really your hamstrings and lower hips that are tighter, it helps to come up a little higher to work the legs straighter and shift your weight back. You can play with what works best for you. Just 2 more breaths here. Fill the back with your breath. And then setting up for the twist, so soften the legs, bring your right hand closer to the foot, maybe across it, maybe up on a block, and your left hand either to hip or to sky as you gently twist the chest to the left. Look any direction that works for your neck. Looking up tends to be a little tight for the neck muscles, so you can look to the side or down. Nice. And then both hands down, lean forward and lift that right leg up into the air, standing split. Just balance on your left leg. Again, doesn't have to look anything like a split. And in a moment, not yet, still take a breath or two in the stretch. If you are going to be doing that balancing or a little bit of hopping, it really does help to have the legs starting above hip level. If you're not at a place where the leg can lift that high, you're going to have to do a lot of jumping, and that's a lot of momentum to correct for. So just take that with a grain of salt. It's not impossible to do. It's just a little bit more efficient of a balance challenge in this pose if that lifted leg is starting above the hip level, if that makes sense to you. It's about shifting your weight center of gravity forward, but if you have to shift it that much, it's going to be really harder to correct and you're going to tip over, maybe. Or you're just in standing split for another breath. Beautiful. Lightly make your way back through vinyasa, step, hop, float, crawl, and make your way to downward dog. Just a couple breaths, maybe child's pose, especially if you're balancing, give your wrists a break. From wherever you are, start to make your way to the front of your mat. Step or float from downward dog, lengthen out, right into your forward fold. Bend your knees coming up through chair. And stand up, hands to hearts. Then again, vinyasa. Sit back, take a deep breath, shift your weight into your heels, and then fold forward. Lengthen, and follow your breath through vinyasa to downward dog. You can skip chaturanga. Sometimes it's nice for a sequence to give your shoulders a bit of a break. From your downward dog, lift your right leg and step forward for warrior two. Coming between the thumbs as you come up, turn the chest and hips to the side. But maybe focus the gaze forward if that's okay with your neck, but make sure at least that front knee is going straight forward. Soften the shoulders. And reverse your warrior. Left hand back, right arm lifts. Stay reversed as you straighten the front leg and regular triangle. Peel the hips back as you reach forward through that right arm until it comes down, floor or block. And left arm up. Now, similar to pyramid, you can use that bottom hand either on the floor or the block. Pull the hand towards your back foot to help you lengthen your bottom side out. So you kind of engage your core against the pull of the arm. So not rounding as you pull, lengthen bottom side and twist open. That little bit of pull and isometric, I talk about it a lot, but if you give yourself a little bit of internal strength or tension, you can balance it and work against that. To get a little deeper into your pose and more stable. And then rebend the knee to come up into a gentle. We lost the Zoom. Oh no. Oh my gosh, guys. No. Why did that happen? Me either. Oh no. What? I don't think so.